Hi, my name is Aya, you're watching Aya Reads, and I'm here to do a fun video that I'm very excited about. As you can see, I'm wearing the color green, which is my favorite color, so it's not that different from what I usually wear, but it's also the color of Spotify. And I thought it would be fun to use Spotify, basically use my playlist to recommend you books. So I put like 150 of the songs I like are my favorite songs, basically. Half of those are Taylor Swift, probably. And I'm gonna put it on shuffle. With every song, I have to recommend you a book. I do have to say, I read mostly romances, so they're gonna be romance recommendations, but most of the music I listen to are like heartbreak songs, especially like Taylor Swift. Obviously, she writes a lot of heartbreak songs. So I'm gonna probably have to be creative. Like if I can get a one-to-one, that would be great. But other than that, maybe I'll give you a recommendation based on vibes or based on one particular line in a lyric. So yes, I'm very excited. Let's do a screen recording because I want you to see what actually is being chosen. So as you can see, like this perfectly sums up my music taste. Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor, another Taylor, and Maneskin. So let's see. It's already on shuffle. I'm just gonna play. Obviously, you cannot listen to the song because in some countries, I think you cannot see the video, and also, anyway, it doesn't matter. So my phone is, like the sound is off. I'm just gonna pick songs. You will see some pauses here because maybe I'll have to think about a book or have to really dissect the lyrics. So let's get started. Play. The Loneliest by Maneskin. Does not surprise me that a Maneskin song was picked. Okay, so this obviously is a very, very sad song. So let me read the lyrics. Okay, I'm gonna recommend you The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Mainly, first of all, this song is very lonely, obviously, but the things he says about, I see your face when I close my eyes, it's torturous, tonight's gonna be the loneliest. Basically, this song is what I wish the book did. So I gave this book 3 stars. I had higher hopes for it, and the reason why is I wish we'd gotten the male point of view because he's definitely the loneliest. This book is about Clementine, and her apartment is magical. So every once in a while when she enters, she goes back 7 years, and one day she meets this guy who is a little bit younger than her. And 7 years ago, she was on vacation with her aunt. So her present self is meeting his past self. And he has spent 7 years pining for her, being lonely, wanting her, but knowing that she hasn't met him yet. So isn't that just torturous? That is the most torturous thing ever. So, and that is why I wish we'd gotten his point of view, because that is just the saddest thing in the world. Like waiting for somebody for 7 years, knowing that they don't even know who you are. So I just am envisioning him listening to this song and just crying himself to sleep at night. Okay, so let's do the next one. Princesses Don't Cry. Okay, so obviously a book about a princess would be good. Let me think. The obvious one is Twisted Games, obviously. Let me think. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go for something different. Okay, so I'm gonna pick The Remnant Chronicles. So I'm gonna start with Kiss of Deception. Mainly I'm recommending it because I just gave a scathing rant review of her newest release. So I wanna recommend a book by her that's good. And mainly so it's basically the lyrics. So, a princess doesn't cry over monsters in the night. Don't waste our precious time on boys with pretty eyes. But wipe your teary eyes, 'cause princesses don't cry. But God made me rough. Girls so heavy the crown, they carry it tall, but it's weighing me down. Okay, so for those who don't know, Kiss of Deception is a young adult book, but honestly, it is better than a lot of like smutty romanticities, in my opinion. I love romancy, don't get me wrong, but some of them are just not well written. This book, chef's kiss. So you follow Leah, I think, yeah, Leah, who is supposed to marry a prince from another kingdom. She's a princess, obviously. But on the night she was supposed to get married to that man, she runs off with her handmaiden to this like small village, and then the prince she was supposed to marry goes after her, and also an assassin sent to kill her, and basically she has like a love triangle between both of them. But in the first half of the first book, you don't know who the prince is and you don't know who the assassin is, so there's also a mystery going on. And the things she goes through, the things she experiences, definitely a little bit of a less strong character would just break down, cry, don't want to do anything else. But she's very strong, she's very resilient. And yes, there's a romance, but at the end of the day, that's not why I love this book. Obviously, it's part of it, but what I really loved is her resilience, her strength. And yes, the romance is nice, but that is not everything about this book. So this is definitely a song that Leah would jam to. So far, no Taylor Swift, so that's odd. Let's go next. Champagne Problems. The saddest one of them all. Oh my God. How am I gonna recommend a romance? Okay, how am I gonna recommend a romance for this book? I think that's impossible. Okay, maybe a different line. Okay, so he booked the night train for a reason. Okay, maybe I can do like a book where they were dancing and she left him crestfallen on the landing. Let me think. Well, for Midas Touch, I could recommend Guild, but I've not read that book yet. Either I have to recommend you a book where they're dancing and he's left crestfallen on the landing, or a book where she turned down a proposal earlier in her life. Let me think. I have a perfect one. I was thinking maybe a historical romance, and yes, mainly let's go to the last lines. I'm gonna recommend The Duchess Deal. Okay, so first of all, you should read it anyway, but basically you follow this girl who's a seamstress, and she made this god-awful wedding dress for the wedding of the Duke. Then she finds out that the wedding is off, but she made the dress and she needs the money. So she decides to wear the wedding dress and go to his house and tell him that he needs to pay for it. And instead of paying for it, he tells her, why don't you marry me instead? So basically he's a scarred hero, scarred from the war, and that is basically the reason his fiancée left him. And I know that is like the opposite of obviously Taylor's meaning with the song. Like, I'm not saying that the main character in her song is like the ex of the Duke. So the ex in the Duke is definitely shallow, whereas the girl in the song has, you know, she's struggling with her mental health. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to dissect a song. He thinks that he's unlovable, that he's ugly, that nobody would want him. So he basically tells her, okay, we're gonna get married because I need an heir. So basically we're just gonna have sex until you get pregnant, and then I'm gonna ship you off, you and my heir, to live somewhere far away, and we're never gonna fall in love. Obviously, it's her mission in life to make him fall in love with her. So let's read you the last lines in this song that makes me think of this book. But you'll find the real thing instead. She'll patch up your tapestry that I shred, and hold your hand while dancing, never leave you standing, crestfallen on the landing, with champagne problems. Your mom's ring in your pocket, her picture in your wallet, and you won't remember all my champagne problems. Okay, so this is one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs, and my favorite songs in general. Let's move on. Today Was a Fairy Tale. Okay. A happier song. Basically, we're looking for like a magical date. Let me think. Let me think. Today was a fairy tale. That's like fairy tale like. So definitely not a dark romance then. Or a hate to love, I guess. Okay, I don't know why this one was so hard for me, but I'm gonna go for The Striker by Anna Huang. Basically, Asher Donovan is like a Prince Charming, but the way he really thought about their first date and all the things that went into that, it was just a fairy tale. Like, that is basically like a fairy tale first date, basically. So today was a fairy tale. Time slows down whenever you're around. Well, can you feel this magic in the air? It must have been the way you kissed me. Fell in love when I saw you standing there. It must have been the way. Today was a fairy tale. Yeah, The Striker, for those of you who don't know, is Anna Huang's newest release. It's a sports romance, it's a soccer romance, or football romance. And you follow Asher Donovan, who is a notorious football player in the UK, and he has been getting into trouble. And now he has, last season, he was transferred to his rivals, like his arch nemesis team, and they have not been playing well together. So his coach sends them both off to go do ballet lessons for the summer because that will help them with their game, plus help them work together. And he instantly is attracted to the ballet teacher. Turns out the ballet teacher is his teammate slash rival sister, and they fall in love. And Archer is just so dreamy, and yeah, definitely a fairy tale if you're with him. Next, Kiss Me by Ed Sheeran. Okay, Kiss Me, that song reminds me of the Vampire Diaries so much. I believe it's the song that was playing when Delena had one of their iconic moments. So let me read the lyrics. I haven't heard this song in a while, so okay. So there's a line in here where he says, yeah, I've been feeling everything, from hate to love, from love to lust, from lust to truth. I guess that's how I know you. Okay, so obviously a hate to love we need to put in here. Let me think of a good one. Let's do The Frat Boy by Nikki Sloan. Okay, so technically this is a very, very spicy romance involving adult movie content makers. So this is a sweet song, but so you would think this would not really work. You know, kiss me like you wanna be loved. Okay, I'm not a singer. So, but I mean, this was surprisingly sweet for what you expect this book to be. And definitely it starts from hate to love, from love to lust, from lust to truth. Well, I guess it's from hate to love, from lust to love. This was one of my favorite books last year. And what's interesting, I just realized this. She refuses to kiss him for a big majority of the book. So this is just so fitting. Like, you smart. Okay. So this follows a girl who's in a sorority, a guy who's in a fraternity, and every year the sororities and fraternities have like this big giant battle going on. And this year things went out of hand and both of them got kicked off of their respective fraternity and sorority. So now they also don't have a place to stay. So they both are looking for a place to stay and a job to pay for that. And they both come across this ad for adult movie content, you know, making adult movie content. So they both apply because the job comes with housing too. So they apply and they have to, they are shocked when they see the other one and they have to actually do their audition together. So they actually have to have sex together even though they hate each other. So yeah, they both get hired. So it's a roommates to lovers. So they both live there and they have to make these adult movies together. And like I said, he wants to kiss her like in the beginning and she refuses. And a couple, like that happens over the course of them making adult movies together until one day she does allow him to kiss her and the hate turns to love. And it's just so good. It's so good, so spicy, so delicious. Yeah, I'm just keeping track of the books I already recommended because I don't want to recommend the same books. Okay, Rolling in the Deep, right? Yeah, Rolling in the Deep. There's a fire. Okay, I need to stop. I need to stop singing because you might sue me for ear damage. Okay. Okay, I actually have a great one for this, but it's kind of morbid. So obviously this song talks about a loving relationship and now they're not together anymore and she wants him to, you know, she talks about we could have had it all. So technically it's not a one-to-one recommendation. It's mostly based on the lyrics, but I'm gonna recommend you the Mindfuck series by S.C. Abbey, which let me write that down real quick. And it's mostly for some of the lyrics here. See how I'll leave with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do. Think of me in the depths of your despair. Turn my sorrow into treasured gold. You pay me back in kind and reap just what you've sown. You're gonna wish you never had met me. Okay, so basically the Mindfuck series is about this serial killer named Lana and her romance with an FBI agent named Logan who is on her case. And Lana, so the reasonings for her serial killings are justified, okay? And this basically, the lyrics I just highlighted are things that she could have said to her victims, who, like I said, 100% deserve it. Next, Love Story. This is a love, okay. Okay, I'd have to say, most, like the more happier songs are coming out here. Okay, so obviously, okay, so we were both young when I first saw you. Could be a, like, childhood friends to lovers, maybe. Maybe I have a, okay, let me think. A book where they were friends. Oh, I have one. I have one. I have one. I have one. It's, again, The Magic by Lisa Kleypas. It's right here. Ugh, if this is not one of my favorite, oh no. Just thinking about this book makes me want to cry. Ugh, I love this book. Okay, so the lines. We were both young when I first saw you. I close my eyes and the flashback starts. I'm standing there on a balcony in summer air. That you were Romeo, you were throwing pebbles, and my daddy said, stay away from Juliet. And I was crying on the staircase, begging you, please don't go. Okay, so it's a little bit different in that she actually pushed him away because her daddy said that he would be killing him otherwise. So you follow McKenna and Lady Aline. She's a lady, obviously her father is the Earl, and he is a stable boy. So obviously they are not supposed to be together, but they do have a romance. They've been friends and they fall in love. And then one day they got caught when fornicating. So she's like, they're teenagers. Her father threatens him, saying that if she doesn't end it, he will kill him. So she ends it in a cruel way. She tells him that she's never loved him. And he goes away to America to make his fortune. And basically he has this long-term plan of becoming the wealthiest man ever and then coming back and basically using her and discarding her. So when he comes back, that is his plan, to ruin her. But of course, he's gonna be the one that's gonna be ruined. He realizes everything that happened and he obviously hates how much time was lost. But yeah, definitely reminds me of Love Story. Next. Yes, I was hoping for this one because I already have one in mind. Okay, so I Want to Be Your Slave by Maneskin. Okay, let me just read you these lyrics because they're iconic. Okay. I want to be your slave. I want to be your master. I want to be a good boy. I want to be a gangster. You could be the beauty and I could be the monster. I know you're scared of me. You say that I'm too eccentric. I'm crying all my tears and that's fucking pathetic. I want to make you hungry, then I want to feed you. I want to paint your face like you're my Mona Lisa. I want to be a champion. I want to be a loser. I want to be your sex toy. I want to be your teacher. Okay, I want to be your sinner. I want to be your preacher because I'm the devil who's searching for redemption. And if you want to use me, I could be your puppet. Okay, so I'm looking for a Switch romance. I have not read a whole lot of Switch romance, but the one that is perfect for this one, especially with the devil line, is Soul of a Witch by Harley LaRue. This man, or this demon, definitely both wants to be her slave and he wants to be her master. So definitely both of them are switches, so they could be both dominant and submissive. And this is the third book in the Souls trilogy. You can read them out of order, I guess, but since this one, she's a witch and already has known a lot of the lore, I would say start with either the first or the second one. I would say start with the first one because the girl in the first one doesn't know what's going on, so you get a good explanation of what is going on, but they do take place around the same time. Basically, you follow this witch named Avery, and her father is the cult leader of the town, and he's done some bad things. And then she realizes that her mate is a archdemon who has loved her for 2,000 years. She was obviously not born yet, but he got, like during one of his wars, he saw her, like there was a mirage of her, I guess, saying things like, you need to find me, this is my name, stuff like that. And he's been searching for her, but obviously she wasn't born yet. And the sex between these two, like I want to blush just thinking about it. It's so hot, so fucking hot. And yeah, definitely, like when he's the master, it's fucking hot, but also when he's like the slave, it's also so hot. And it is hot because you've seen him be dominant. So when he submits to her, it's like, whoo, yes, please. Obviously, Harley LaRue is the queen of smut. Like, I just love her smutty books. And this is definitely one of my favorites by her. Okay, let's continue. Memories by Maroon 5. Okay, I'm gonna go for Wolf Song because it's one of my favorite books of all time, but also it fits. Mainly, basically with Wolf Song, there's a chunk where the couple is not together and it's heartbreaking. And basically it fits with that time. And also, it's also talking about the memories of what the Bennett clan was before like this significant event happened. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Because the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. So definitely, like I said, this reminds... Okay, so basically, let me first talk... Actually, let's do it the other way around. So you follow Joe and Ox, and this is a male-male romance. And when Joe is 16 and Ox is 10, they meet. And Joe is basically smelling his fated mate, but obviously they cannot be together because one is 10 and the other one is 16. And there's nothing romantic going on at all. But... Joe is part of a werewolf clan, and obviously his family knows what's going on. Ox gets included in that clan, and then one day something horrible happens, and then Joe, alongside his two brothers and Ox's like adoptive father, they all go out in search for revenge, and they leave for years, and then they come back, they do have their HEA. And basically this is talking about that time. So the ones that we lost on the way is talking mostly about those four that are gone in my head. There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain, when I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. Now my heart feels like December when somebody say your name, because I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day. Let's continue. Mockingbird. Okay, so this, I think we need a single dad romance for this one. Yes. Oh, why are there no lyrics here? Okay, so obviously this talks heavily about his life. So I'm not gonna get a one-to-one rec, but let's just do a single dad. And maybe like a single dad romance where he has to explain, I guess, why the mother is not there. Okay, let's do one that I rarely recommend. Let's do Irresistible by Melanie Harlow. So I wanted to recommend a single dad with daughters, considering he's talking about girls. He has obviously his daughter Haley, but also two adoptive daughters, I'm pretty sure. And so this fits, except he's not Eminem, obviously. I don't know what happened to the mom, and I don't really know if she's a part of their lives, but that doesn't matter. Let me read you the lyrics. Now hush, little baby, don't you cry. Everything's gonna be all right. Stiffen that upper lip, little lady. I told you, daddy's here to hold you through the night. I know mommy's not here right now, and we don't know why. We feel how we feel inside. It may seem a little crazy, pretty baby, but I promise mama's gonna be all right. So Irresistible is the first book in the Cloverleaf Farm series, and you follow Franny and Mac, and this is a 10-year age gap. So Franny is the daughter of the owner of Cloverleaf Farms, and he is the CFO, and she's had a crush on him for a while now, and obviously he didn't see her that way, but he is a full-time single dad and he's really struggling, and she's seeing that, so she offers to watch his daughters for him sometimes, so to become the nanny basically, and he agrees, and while she's nannying they fall in love. It's a good book. It was not my favorite, and I really haven't found myself thinking about it too much, but I still gave it 4 stars. And obviously, he's a single dad of daughters, so that's basically the only thing he has in common with Eminem. Okay, so I'm on 10, but I kind of want to continue because this is fun. So let me actually pause and play, and let's do next. Come back, be here. Okay, so basically this talks about a long distance relationship. One is in New York and the other is in London. Let me see if I actually have a book like that. And if not, it's basically falling in love while... So she does say, how strange that I don't know you at all. So maybe into love? Let me see. I have a perfect one! Red, white, and royal blue. Okay, so technically it's Washington, not New York, but close enough, okay, close enough. Stumbled through the long goodbye, one last kiss, then catch our flight, right when I was just about to fall. I told myself don't get attached, but in my mind I play it back, spinning faster than the plane that took you. I don't want to miss you like this, come back, be here. I guess you're in Washington today. Taxi cabs and busy streets, they never bring you back to me. I can't help but wish you took me with you. I guess you're in London today, and I don't want to need you this way. Come back, be here. This is falling for you, and you are worlds away. In New York, be here, but you're in London, and I break down because it's not fair that you're not around. Okay, so Red, White, and Royal Blue, for those of you who don't know, is a male-male romance about the... Okay, this is even more heartbreaking. About the son of the president, and in this world, the president of the United States is a woman. Let's move on. And him falling in love with the Prince of Wales. Or not the Prince of Wales, basically the spare. So basically the Harry, they have this rivalry going on, and on the wedding of Henry's brother, things come to a head where they have a giant argument and fight. And now their respective teams force them to pretend to be friends, and eventually they fall in love. Yeah, definitely. Obviously one lives in Washington, the other is a prince in London. And yeah, this is, you know what? I am kind of proud of myself. honestly. Cruel Summer. Okay. Basically, obviously, Cruel Summer is about this girl who has this summer fling and she doesn't really want to fall in love, but then obviously she does. Okay, so also a bad boy. Maybe I'll recommend a bad boy. I love you. Ain't that the worst thing you ever heard? Okay, let's do a bad boy where loving him is the worst thing she's ever heard. Okay, I don't know if this book takes place in summer, but I'm gonna choose it anyway. Untouchable. If this is not a bad boy, then I don't know what is. He's the cruelest of them all. He definitely... Okay, so let me read you some of the lyrics that could apply to him. Bad, bad boy, shiny toy with a price. You know that I bought it. Killing me slow, out the window. I'm always waiting for you to be waiting below. Devils roll the dice, angels roll their eyes. What doesn't kill me makes me want you more. I love you, ain't that the worst thing you ever heard? He looks up, grinning like a devil. Yep. So this is a book not for the faint of heart. So you follow Zoe, who was assaulted by a member of the football team, and she reports him. And because of that, he gets kicked off of the football team. And since she lives in this small town that is obsessed with their high school football team, she becomes the town pariah. And one day she gets cornered in a classroom by the guy she reported, plus Carter Mahoney, plus another guy. And Carter assaults her. So basically forces her to give him a blowjob. And then she stays home sick from school the next day, and he shows up with soup, charming her mom. And basically he becomes obsessed with her from that moment on. He's relentless in pursuing her, and he wants her and nobody else. Everybody has to accept it, including her. So definitely a bad boy. He has some issues that you'll learn about along the way, but it's so good. Like, what can I say? Like, it's a very, very good book. But like I said, it's a very dark romance. So if you have any issues with what I described, which I do have those issues in real life, just not in fiction, then don't pick this book up. But if you can handle the subject matter, definitely pick it up. He looks up, grinning like a devil. Okay, moving on. Next. You're on Your Own, Kid. Okay, so basically, I kind of want a Sabrina Carpenter. I really want Juno. So if Juno doesn't get picked, I'm gonna choose it. I'm gonna recommend you a book based on Juno anyway. Okay, I know a perfect book for this one. I'm gonna recommend Powerless by Elsie Silver, because this is obviously a pining heroine in this story. So summer went away, still the yearning stays. I play it cool with the best of them. I wait patiently, he's gonna notice me. It's okay, we're the best of friends. I touch my phone as if it's your face. I didn't choose this town, I dream of getting out. There's just one who could make me stay. From sprinkler splashes to fireplace ashes, I waited ages to see you there. I searched the party of better bodies just to learn that you never cared. I picked the petals, he loves me not. The jokes weren't funny, I took the money. My friends from home don't know what to say. Powerless is about a pining heroine, which I just love. I love pining heroines, I do. You follow Sloane and Jasper. Sloane is the cousins to the Eatons, and Jasper is Bo Eaton's best friend. But when he was like 15, Bo found him sleeping in his car, and he asks his father Harvey to take Jasper in. And obviously he does, because Jasper is not being well taken care of by his own family. And then in the summer, you know, summer splashes, Sloane always visits her cousins, and then she meets Jasper for the first time, and she falls in love immediately, even though she's 10 and he's 15. And she has been pining for him all these years. But there's an age gap, and technically 5 years is not significant, but obviously it is when you're a teenager, because when she's 10, he's 15. When she's 17, he already is playing, because he's a hockey player, he's already playing for a big team in Canada. So when she asks him to prom when she's 17, he has to reject her because he's an adult and she's still a teenager. And at one point she chose the money, basically, because her family's very rich and very stuck up. So she decides to marry somebody that's also from the upper class. And even though Jasper is rich, he's looked down upon because he's not part of like the wealthy elite. But on her wedding day, she realizes, in her blood-soaked gown, on her wedding day, she realizes her fiance, soon-to-be husband, has been cheating on her. So she flees and asks Jasper to come with her. And eventually he confesses that he has been in love with her for a while now. And this is their romance. I love this book so much. It's one of my favorites by Elsie Silver. And definitely a pining heroine. Okay, so most of them are Taylor Swift, which makes sense. But I don't want this all to be Taylor Swift. So let me do Endgame. And then if there's another Taylor Swift, I'm just gonna skip and we'll see. Okay, so Endgame. Okay, let me skip this one and maybe we'll come back to it if we get some other artists other than Taylor Swift. Okay, Wide Awake by Katy Perry. Where's Sabrina Carpenter? Okay, I want a song by her. Okay. These lyrics don't really say a whole lot. Okay, I'm wide awake. I was in the dark. I was falling hard with an open heart. How did I read the stars so wrong? Now it's clear to me that everything you see ain't always what it seems. Yeah, I was dreaming for so long. I wish I knew then what I know now. Wouldn't dive in, wouldn't bow down. Gravity hurts, you made it so sweet. Till I woke up on the concrete, falling from cloud 9, crashing from the high. Should I also skip this one? Okay, so I already recommended 13 books. Let me think. Let me actually listen to this song. Okay, I don't know what happened, but I'm editing and I don't know. I don't think I recommended you a book, but I was editing and I read the lyrics again and I realized, okay, I was kind of harsh. It does say stuff. And then I read about what the song was about. And I do have a recommendation for you. So here's a bonus recommendation. This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. So basically, Wide Awake is a song she wrote after her divorce with Russell Brand because he pretended that he loved her, but ultimately it turns out that he didn't. Yeah, so the song details how Russell led her to believe that he loved her until he decided to end the relationship. And it says here, gravity hurts, you made it so sweet till I woke up on the concrete. This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan is about, oh, look at the sunbeam. Is about this woman named Soledad who, her husband is a piece of shit. And then on top of everything, she realized, but they have like a beautiful life, technically, like a beautiful house. She doesn't need to work because he brings in all the money. And, you know, she has been living that way for years. Obviously, that's all she knows. But then he gets arrested on fraud charges. So he's been stealing from his company. And the guy who discovered all that is Judah. Eventually, it's going to be her relationship with Judah, but really, like, the majority of the book is her finding herself again, dating herself and trusting herself again because she was so wrong about her husband. So I think it fits, definitely. So yeah, back to regularly scheduled programming. Let's continue. Okay, so I said I would skip Taylor. Sorry, girl. Which honestly, this is actually a very good indication of what I usually listen to. Let's skip and maybe I'll come back to it. The Joker and the Queen. Okay, you know what? Obviously, I want to recommend Juno. So let me actually do Juno by Sabrina Carpenter. I fucking love that song. So let me read you the lyrics and then I'm going to continue to regular scheduled programming. So Juno lyrics. So I could recommend a lot of books for Juno because this is about a girl wanting to get pregnant because she likes this guy so much. But also at one point she sings these lyrics and all I want to recommend you is a shifter romance. Adore me, hold me and explore me, mark your territory. Tell me I'm the only one. Adore me, hold me and explore me. I'm so fucking horny. Tell me I'm the only one. Okay, so a guy that would totally mark his territory is Nico from Witches Get Stitches. This is a werewolf romance, which I love werewolf romances. I do, they're my favorite. So this is the third book in the Say a Spell series by Juliet Cross. You follow Violet and Nico, and they have been skirting around each other in the first two books. People have been shipping them, mainly her sisters and their love interests. But Violet has been keeping Nico away, even though it's clear he loves her and that she's his fated mate, because she's also a seer and she's seen that destruction awaits them once they actually get into a relationship. They become friends though, and they actually start this tattoo business. At one point, she just cannot resist. They fall in love. Yeah, definitely he marks his territory, and actually wanted to recommend you another book for this song. And it's obviously, want to try out some freaky positions? Have you ever tried this one? Okay, so let me recommend you a spicy book. Preferably one where they have a lot of positions. Let's do Trick Shot by Kayla Gross. It's almost December, so almost the holidays. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Hopefully you will find yourself two hot guys who want to try some new positions with you. You follow Riley, who gets stuck at this airport, and she meets who she thinks is this famous hockey player. It turns out it's not him, it's his twin brother, but he doesn't tell her that. And they start talking, and eventually he invites her home with him and his roommate, who's also like his lover. And basically they spend the whole Christmas Eve and Christmas morning fucking each other in all kinds of different positions. And it's very, 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 very hot. It's MMF, so the guys also have sex together. So yeah, enjoy that one while listening to Juno. Okay, The Joker and the Queen. Even though he's definitely not a Joker, I'm gonna still go for Twisted Games, mainly for this line. I know you could fall for 1,000 kings and hearts that would give you a diamond ring. So, Twisted Games, one of my favorite books. And you follow Princess Bridget, who will become Queen Bridget, and her romance with her bodyguard, Reese. I've already talked about this book so much. But yeah, she could definitely fall for 1,000 kings, but what she wants is her hot, sexy bodyguard, Reese. Next, back to December. So obviously a second chance romance would be good. Let's do Bloody Heart, even though this doesn't 100% fit, but let me read the lyrics. How's life? Tell me, how's your family? I haven't seen them in a while. Your guard is up, and I know why. Because the last time you saw me is still burned in the back of your mind. You gave me roses, and I left them there to die. So this is me swallowing my pride, standing in front of you saying I'm sorry for that night. And I go back to December all the time. It turns out freedom ain't nothing but missing you, wishing I'd realized what I had when you were mine. I'd go back to December, turn around and make it all right. I go back to December all the time. These days I haven't been sleeping, staying up, playing back myself leaving. When your birthday passed and I didn't call. Then I think about summer, all the beautiful times. I watched you laughing from the passenger side, and I realized I loved you in the fall. And then the cold came, the dark days, when fear crept into my mind. You gave me all your love, and all I gave you was goodbye. Bloody Heart is the 5th book in the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark, and this is a mafia romance series. And you follow, what's his name? You follow Dante and Simone, and they had this whirlwind romance when they were teenagers. So basically, she's like the daughter of this, what's her father? Like, I forget the name. Those people that get immunity, like a diplomat. He's a diplomat. And one day she is crying in the back of her limo, and Dante actually steals the car. He doesn't realize somebody's in the back. And then once he realizes, they have a conversation, and they actually have they have a good time. Then he drops her off, and then they start their fling, but obviously it's a secret. And since he's in the mafia, one day she realizes she's pregnant, and then he meets her with blood all over his clothes, and she realizes, fuck, I don't want to raise my child in this bloody world. So she leaves him, and she's heartbroken about that, of course. And then one day, actually she becomes a famous model, so he sees her everywhere he goes, and it's driving him insane. He's never been with anybody else. And then I forget how they come in contact again, but they do, and she's loved him all these years. So I think it fits. It fits better than I thought it would. Okay, next. Okay, I'm gonna skip Willow unless there's a very good line that pops out at me. Maybe the Wreck My Plans, that's my man. Let me think if I can think of one off top of my head. I have one. I have a good one. Funny Story by Emily Henry. And you follow a girl named Daphne, and she has this fiance named Peter. But on the day of his bachelor party, he comes back to her saying that his best friend Petra confessed her feelings, and now he wants to leave Daphne for Petra, and now Daphne has like a week to get out of his house. And she's flabbergasted, okay? She doesn't really know what to do. So she contacts Petra's boyfriend, Miles, asking if she can stay at his place since his girlfriend left him for Daphne's fiance. Does that make any sense? So they become they become roommates even though they don't know each other. And her plan is actually to leave town after the summer because she's a librarian and she wants to stay because they have this readathon going on. She wants to stay until the readathon and then leave. And basically he wrecks her plans by telling her that he doesn't want her to leave because of Peter, because she moved here because of Peter. So he tells her that he wants to show her the town every Sunday, and then hopefully he can convince her to stay. And of course, he does wreck her plans. She does end up staying. I should have just called this Taylor Swift recommends books. Okay, so Don't You Remember? We're looking for an amnesia romance. Okay, I already know which one I'm gonna recommend probably. I haven't read a whole lot of amnesia romances, but there is the big daddy of amnesia romances. Don't you remember the reason you loved me before? Baby, please remember me once more. When was the last time you thought of me, or have you completely erased me from your memory? Gave you the space so you could breathe. I kept my distance so you would be free. And I hope that you find the missing piece to bring you back to me. Why don't you remember? Obviously, I have to recommend Maneskin. Okay, this is perfect for it. Like, cry. Okay, this book breaks my heart. And just, I've heard this song before, and obviously it was sad, but now thinking about it in context of Maneskin, it just like tears in my eyes. So this is a fan fiction, a Draco and Hermione fan fiction, and this actually is getting traditionally published. I'm very interested to see what will be the changes. Basically, this is a world where Voldemort won, and this is also a Handmaid's Tale inspired world. So basically in this world, Voldemort won, and now obviously the purebloods are the ruling families, but they cannot have babies. So they're using Muggleborns or half-blood witches to rape them and have them get pregnant. And Hermione gets assigned to Draco, so he has to do awful things to her, and he's not being nice about it at all. And all he wants to say to her is, why don't you remember? Please remember me once more. Because there's flashbacks, and this is obviously a romance, so she doesn't remember anything, but he does, and it makes him angry and very sad. Sad boy. Okay, let's just do two more. Yeah, let's do two more. Everything I Wanted. Okay, so I have a good one. I'm gonna recommend King of Greed. And basically, these lyrics are for both Dominic, but also Alessandra at points. So, I had a dream. I got everything I wanted. Not what you think. And if I'm being honest, it might have been a nightmare. I had a dream. I got everything I wanted. But when I wake up, I see you with me. Okay, so basically, you follow Dominic and Alessandra. Dominic is the king of greed. So he grew up poor, and now he made it his mission in life to become the king of Wall Street. While on that mission, he meets Alessandra and he falls head over heels in love with her. And they have been married for 10 years. And he loves her. He loves her more than anything in the world, except for his job. Basically, it's not technically that black and white, but his job has become his mistress. He chooses his job and his greed over anything else. And when he misses their 10-year anniversary, Alessandra leaves him. And now he has to grovel to win her back. And basically, the first part of what I just read, so I had a dream, I got everything I wanted. I am seeing that from his point of view. And then the not what you think, and if I'm being honest, it might have been a nightmare, is from her point of view. She's been lonely for 10 years. Not the whole 10 years, but for a big part of the 10 years because he constantly chooses his job over her. And even though she knows he loves her, and at points she sometimes wishes that he had a mistress so that she could focus her anger on that. But it's not a mistress, it's his job. And he's obsessed with his greed. So once again, such a good recommendation. Wow, not arrogant at all. Okay, let's do the last one because this video is getting long, or at least filming it is long because I have to think about the recommendations, and also I'm jamming to the songs. If you want to recommend me any book for any of these songs, leave those in the comments. Peter! Oh, this is my favorite newest song by her. I love this so much. So I'm not going to be cliche. Obviously, I'm not going to recommend Peter or a Peter Pan retelling. Let's not do that. Let's do something else. I don't think I've read a Peter Pan retelling. Oh no, I did. Anyway, so once again, second chance romance could be, although this doesn't imply that they get together in the end. Or maybe I could recommend you a book where she's been, like, she waited for a best friend and then she ended up with somebody else maybe. Let me think. Okay, so I have two recommendations because one that I really want to recommend spoils the book if I actually go into details. I'll leave that for the end. The first one that will not spoil it is Rhapsodic. And basically, I'm switching things around because she said you were gonna grow up, then you were gonna come find me. Basically, for Rhapsodic, I'm switching the lyrics to him saying that to her. So basically, he's waiting for her to grow up, and then he was gonna come find her. Whereas in Peter, she is talking about Peter growing up and then he's gonna come find her. Let me actually read the lyrics that I think fit for both the books I'm gonna recommend, because the other one I'm recommending is Sea of Ruin. What I want to talk about is a little bit of a spoiler. So if you've read it, then definitely stick around. So, is it something I did? The goddess of timing once found us beguiling. She said she was trying. Peter, was she lying? My ribs get the feeling she did. I thought it was just goodbye for now. You said you were gonna grow up, and then you were gonna come find me. Words from the mouths of babes, promises oceans deep, but never to keep. And like, this is one of my favorite bridges by her. And I won't confess that I waited, but I let the lamp burn. As the men masqueraded, I hoped you'd return. With your feet on the ground, tell me all that you'd learned. 'Cause love's never lost when perspective is earned. And you said you'd come and get me, but you were 25. And the shelf life of those fantasies has expired. Lost to the Lost Boys chapter of your life. Forgive me, Peter, please know that I tried to hold on to the days when you were mine. But the woman who sits by the window has turned out the lights. Why is this so sad? Why? Anyway, Rhapsodic, basically you follow Callie and Des. And Callie, when she was a teenager, she made all these bargains with the bargainer. They spent a year together and she loved him and he turned her down brutally. But now, 7 years later, he's back to collect. And she thought he forgot about her. Basically, she, at one point, was that woman who turned down the lights and kind of tried to forget him. So that is basically, this song fits in the in-between place. Like when she was lonely, heartbroken, and he was gone, and he was never coming back. But this deals with fated mates and, you know, Faye, and it's amazing. And then with Sea of Ruin, so please do yourself a favor and leave, because I was spoiled for this book and I wish I hadn't been, because it's such a good reveal. I'm gonna talk about it now. So if you don't want to be spoiled, then I really want to thank you so much for watching. I will leave a timestamp for the outro, so if you want to watch it, then you can. Basically, Sea of Ruin. Obviously, I'm talking about Priest and Ashley here. I'm mainly talking about the lyrics, promises, oceans deep, but never to keep. And also, in closets like cedar, preserved from when we were just kids. I thought it was just goodbye for now. I've heard great things, Peter, but life was always easier on you than it was on me. And sometimes it gets me when crossing your jet stream. We both did the best we could do underneath the same moon in different galaxies. And I didn't want to hang around. We said it was just goodbye for now. And also the line, as the men masqueraded, I hoped you'd return. With your feet on the ground, tell me all that you'd learned. Priest and Ashley, Ashley Cutler, they grew up together, but Priest became a pirate and Ashley became a pirate hunter, and he's part of the aristocracy and definitely not supposed to have a relationship with somebody of the lower classes, and especially not a relationship with a man. So he constantly pushed Priest away until one day Priest left and got married to Bennett. And I read this in Priest's perspective, hoping, praying that Ashley would return to him with his feet on the ground, realizing what truly is important in life and not like what his family wants or what society wants. It's beautiful, beautiful. And it's just like, this is, first of all, a beautiful song and a beautiful book. Obviously, as much as a part of me wishes this book focused a little bit more on the relationship dynamic between Priest and Ashley, because that's very interesting to me. As much as I obviously love Bennett and love seeing her relationship with Ashley. But yeah, this was the video. I don't know how long this is gonna be, but the battery's dying, so I'm gonna be quick. So 20 recommendations for you. I really want to do this video again, so definitely let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed it, and I'll make sure to do it again because this was so much fun for me. Definitely let me know in the comments below which song reminds you of a particular book. I would really love to know that. And if you have any other recommendations for the songs that were chosen, leave those in the comments below too. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely make sure to leave a like if you did. And if you're down there, leave me a green heart emoji. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.